Welcome back to the IBM Licensing Masterclass. I'm Shubh, the license nerd. In videos 1 through 3, we covered the 30,000 product trap, the PVU deep dive, and the Cloud Pak VPC minefield. Today, we're covering the topic that keeps CIOs awake at night: how to survive an IBM software audit. This is the video that could save your company millions of dollars and your career. First, let's understand what triggers an IBM audit. IBM doesn't audit customers randomly. There are specific triggers. The number 1 trigger: when you start moving away from IBM software. If you tell IBM you're decommissioning their products or migrating to open source, expect an audit letter within months. IBM stands to lose revenue, and the audit becomes their leverage to lock you into a new deal. Other common audit triggers include large enterprise license agreement renewals coming up, mergers and acquisitions where IBM licensing gets messy, canceling IBM support or maintenance, significant infrastructure changes like hardware upgrades or expanding virtual environments, and gaps in your ILMT reporting. If IBM sees any of these signals, you become a target. When the audit letter arrives, it comes from IBM's Software Market Assurance Team, known as SWMA. This is IBM's internal compliance enforcement division. Their job is to find non-compliance and maximize the financial settlement. Make no mistake, SWMA is not a neutral party. They work for IBM, and their success is measured by how much revenue they recover. IBM doesn't always use their internal SWMA team. They frequently hire third-party auditors from major accounting firms like Deloitte, PwC, or specialized firms like Connor Consulting. Here's what most companies don't realize. These third-party auditors are not independent. They are hired by IBM, paid by IBM, and their findings serve IBM's interests. Do not treat them as neutral arbitrators. The IBM audit process follows 5 structured phases. Phase 1, audit initiation. IBM sends a formal notice outlining the scope, timeline, and products under review. Phase 2, data collection. Your organization must provide detailed usage data, server configurations, and deployment records. This is where most companies make their first critical mistake. Phase 3, verification and analysis. The auditors compare your entitlement records against your actual software usage across all environments. Phase 4, audit findings. Any licensing gaps, overdeployments, or violations are documented and presented to you. Phase 5, resolution and settlement. If non-compliance is found, IBM proposes remediation, which almost always means buying more licenses. Now let me tell you about the most shocking IBM audit case in history, the IBM versus IRS case. In 2012, Deloitte performed an IBM license audit at the Internal Revenue Service. The initial audit findings showed only $500,000 in compliance charges. For an organization the size of the IRS, that's practically nothing. But here's what allegedly happened next. According to court documents, IBM suppressed those initial $500,000 findings and never released them to the IRS. Instead, IBM management allegedly requested that Deloitte manipulate the audit by changing assumptions to ones that were either without basis or impossible. They assumed that software on discontinued servers was in constant use. These manipulated assumptions drove the overage fees up to $18.9 million. But it didn't stop there. IBM allegedly continued inflating the findings until they reached a staggering $91 million penalty threat. Under the pressure of this $91 million threat, the IRS signed a new enterprise license agreement worth $265 million. A former IBM employee blew the whistle and sued IBM in 2013, alleging the audit findings were fabricated to coerce the IRS into buying the new deal. What does this case teach us? First, the auditors work for IBM, not for you. Their findings are not gospel truth. Second, IBM uses audit findings as leverage to sell you more software. Third, the initial findings can be dramatically different from what IBM eventually presents. Fourth, without independent verification, you are at IBM's mercy. This case should terrify every IBM customer. So how do you defend yourself? Rule number 1. When the audit letter arrives, do not panic. Do not rush to buy licenses. Do not start deleting software. Do not shred any files. All of these panic reactions will make your situation dramatically worse. Take a deep breath and activate your defense strategy. Rule number 2. Get your legal team involved immediately. The audit letter is a legal document, and your response has legal implications. Your legal team should review the audit scope, verify IBM's contractual right to audit, and ensure the scope doesn't exceed what your agreement allows. Many companies skip this step and regret it. Rule number 3. Centralize all communications through a single point of contact. Appoint one person, your SAM lead or IT asset manager, as the sole communicator with IBM's audit team. Fragmented responses from multiple departments create risk. Different people saying different things gives auditors ammunition to exploit inconsistencies. Rule number 4. Conduct your own internal audit before sharing any data with IBM. Before you hand over a single document, run your own compliance assessment. Use ILMT to generate your current position. Identify your gaps. Understand your exposure. You need to know your own numbers before IBM tells you theirs. Rule number 5. Control what data you share. IBM will request extensive data: server configurations, VM inventories, ILMT reports, purchase records. Only share what is contractually required. Do not volunteer extra information. Every piece of data you share can be used to expand the scope of findings. Share what you must, nothing more. Rule number 6. Challenge the audit timeline. IBM typically wants the audit completed quickly, within 30 to 60 days. But you have the right to negotiate the timeline. Request extensions when needed. A rushed audit favors IBM because you don't have time to verify their findings or prepare your defense. Slow the process down. Now let's talk about the most common audit findings that catch companies off guard. Finding number 1. ILMT not installed or misconfigured. This is the single most expensive finding. Without ILMT, IBM denies subcapacity licensing and charges full capacity for your entire virtualized environment. We covered this in detail in video 2. Finding number 2. Missing quarterly ILMT reports. Even if ILMT is installed, you must generate and archive reports every quarter for at least 2 years. Missing even one quarter gives IBM grounds to deny subcapacity for that period. Finding number 3. Unauthorized users exceeding your authorized user license count. IBM will check every user with access, not just active users. Finding number 4. Virtual machines running on unlicensed physical cores. If your VMs can migrate via vMotion or live migration to hosts that aren't licensed, IBM claims you need licenses for every possible host in the cluster. Finding number 5. Bundled products not properly classified in ILMT. If ILMT reports show standalone usage of software that should be bundled, auditors will charge you for separate licenses. Finding number 6. Test and development environments not tracked. Many companies assume test environments don't need licenses. Wrong. IBM requires licenses for test, development, staging, and disaster recovery environments, unless you have specific entitlements that say otherwise. Every IBM installation requires a license, regardless of its purpose. When IBM presents their audit findings, this is the most critical moment of the entire process. Do not accept the findings at face value. Remember the IRS case. Initial findings of $500,000 were inflated to $91 million. Your first action must be to independently verify every single finding. Cross-check the auditor's findings against your own ILMT data. Verify the PVU values they used against the official IBM PVU table. Check whether they correctly applied subcapacity rules. Verify that bundled products were properly accounted for. Look for software that was detected but not actually in use. Auditors make mistakes, and those mistakes always seem to favor IBM. If you find errors in the audit findings, dispute them formally in writing. Provide your evidence. Engage an independent IBM licensing expert if needed. Companies that challenge audit findings with solid evidence typically reduce their exposure by 50 to 90%. Companies that accept findings without challenge pay the maximum penalty. Now let's talk about the settlement negotiation. IBM's goal is to convert audit findings into a new software purchase. They will present a compliance gap and offer to resolve it through a new enterprise license agreement or additional license purchases. This is where IBM makes their money from audits. During settlement negotiations, never accept IBM's first offer. Their initial settlement proposal is always inflated. Negotiate aggressively. Use your verified compliance position as leverage. If you've done your homework and can prove the actual gap is smaller than IBM claims, you have significant negotiating power. IBM would rather settle than go to court. Consider these negotiation tactics. Request that IBM apply your existing and used entitlements against the gap. Negotiate for subscription pricing instead of perpetual licenses if it's cheaper. Ask for multi-year payment terms to reduce the immediate financial impact. Bundle the settlement with a renewal to get better overall pricing. And always get competitive quotes from third-party IBM license resellers. Here is your 7-step IBM audit defense checklist. Step 1. Appoint a single audit response coordinator. Step 2. Engage legal counsel immediately upon receiving the audit notice. Step 3. Conduct an internal compliance assessment before sharing any data. Step 4. Verify ILMT is installed, healthy, and generating quarterly reports. Step 5. Share only contractually required data with IBM's auditors. Step 6. Independently verify every audit finding before accepting anything. Step 7. Negotiate the settlement aggressively using your verified compliance position. If you follow these 7 steps, you will be in a dramatically stronger position than 90% of companies that face an IBM audit. In Video 5, the final video of the series, we will cover IBM license optimization and cost reduction. How to proactively reduce your IBM spend, optimize your entitlements, and build a long-term IBM licensing strategy that protects your organization. You won't want to miss it. If this video helped you prepare for an IBM audit, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your CIO, your IT asset management team, and your legal department. They all need to see this. I'm Shubh, the license nerd, and I'll see you in the next one.